All right, tell everybody who you are.
My name is Michael Berry. I am born and raised in St. Louis, Missouri. Actually, I was raised in what we call Pagedale. I am currently a teacher in the Riverview School District. I work at the alternative school. And if you would have known me from high school and known that I'm a teacher now, it'd be kind of funny. You probably laugh at that because the last thing I would ever think I would be a teacher. But here I am. I've always worked with kids in some aspect in my life. My first real job was working with kids, and I've been working with kids ever since then. More so what we call at-risk kids.
Why did you enlist in the military?
Truthfully, I enlisted in the military because I saw a commercial and thought the commercial was cool.
What commercial?
It was an army commercial. And everybody was doing all this cool stuff in commercial. And I was like, that looked kind of cool. So I just went up there and said, what I got to do to join the Army? I had already graduated college. I had a degree in college. Was working with kids in a youth facility. And I just sit at home and I was watching a commercial. And it looked cool. And I joined the military because of that commercial. And also, when I found out they had like certain incentives, they had a sign-on bonus, like a $1,500 sign-on bonus, a quote-unquote sign-on bonus. You don't get it for when you first sign on. They kind of fool you with that one. And then I wanted to use the housing allowance that you get. So, because I was just starting a family. So.
How long did you serve?
So I was in what they call the reserve, active reserve for 4 years. Didn't really like my reserve units. So you go from boot camp and AIT school, and if anybody knows what I'm talking about, everything in boot camp and everything in an AIT school is squared away. Your uniform is always cool. If it wasn't, it was a problem. Your boots was always shining. If it wasn't, it was a problem. And you had something to do. Then you go to the reserves, and you get there. My first day, you look at everybody, uniforms wrinkled, boots ain't shining, and it's like, and you looking like, what the hell is this? And then you don't do nothing. So in my reserve unit, we would go there, we would go formation, because formation was a way of attendance, basically, saying who's here and who's not. So we would go there, go to formation, they would see who was there, and then we had nothing to do at all. Yeah, a lot of people don't take reserve too serious. And then you find yourself overseas in war, and now everything you didn't take serious back then, you face with head on right there. So I think it's why you see a lot of casualties in the military, because a lot of people don't take the reserves as serious as they should.
You went to war.
Mm-hmm.
What war did you go to?
I was in Operation Iraqi Freedom, 2004, 2005.
What were some of the worst things that you saw?
It wouldn't be nothing to see a kid drop a bomb and then run across the road. So before he dropped that bomb, you would have to stop. It wasn't nothing to see a dog with a eye or a bomb tied to it, or a dead dog in a ditch. So stuff like that. I mean, and then almost running over kids, stuff like that. When you first get over there, it bothers you for real. Like my first mission, I ain't gonna say I was scared, but I wasn't used to it. And then by the last mission, all that stuff's become annoying. So your first mission, when somebody starts shooting at you, you like, oh shit, here we go, this and that. But by your last, when you about to go, people shooting at you, it's like, it gets annoying. Once you figure out what you have to do to survive to get home, that's what you do every single time. And you have to be consistent with it, and you have to do it every single time. So when I was over there, I had a crew, and we wouldn't go on any missions without each other, because we all had specific jobs. And we knew exactly what we was gonna do, or that person was gonna do. We all was in sync. We knew exactly what we was gonna do. Now, a couple other people would come along with us, but the core group would always be there, and we would always know exactly what we we're gonna do. But as far as the overall experience, once we got over to Iraq, it when you first arrive over there in a completely different country, it was kind of cold when we first got there. We was there through their little, what they call their December season, their winter season. Lasted for probably about a month and a half, if that. Really wasn't as cold as it gets here, but it got kind of cold. But then it got hot, like real quick. And that's the one thing that you really have to adjust to is the heat over there. And I'm talking 140, 130 degrees on a daily basis. And then the sand, it's like you breathe in sand. So there was no way you could ever not have sand somewhere. Like if you spit on the ground, your spit will be brown. Sand was everywhere. If you brush your teeth and you spit out, it would be brown. So sand was in the air. Sand was everywhere. They never had any clouds. Sometimes it would rain. It would be so dry that you can probably see the rain coming down, but it will never hit you. So it was stuff like that you really had to kind of get used to. And after a while, it became normal for us. But again, it was exciting as hell. We all banded together. I mean, I became friends with cats that I had never thought I would be friends with. I mean, never in a million years. Like the small white boys from small towns, we sharing MREs together. Once you become in a situation like that where it's you against a whole country, you become friends with a lot of cats that you never thought you would be friends with.
What were the living conditions like?
We stayed in tents. You saw mice all the time. I mean, it wasn't nothing to see a mouse run across your little dresser or and then you would see snakes all the time. And the snakes would, if you saw a mouse one day, you probably wouldn't see it the next because the snake would get it. You saw little scorpions all the time, and the movies be lying. You know how they be acting like scorpions be real big. Scorpions are real small. Or at least the ones I saw were. But you were lucky if you got a hot shower. The water was always cold, and the way our showers were made was that they would make them out of the 18-wheelers that you see, the backs of them. They would make those into showers. One would be full of showers, and one would be full of toilets. And that's if you were on base. That's lucky. That's good living. If you got that. If you were we did a lot of missions. So when we would leave, you would either have to use the bathroom outside or use it off the back of your truck or something like that. You didn't have those kind of quarters like that. But if we would go to a certain base and stuff like that, then if you're lucky, you got a hot shower. The food was okay, again, if you were on base. But we spent a lot of time between bases. So we would have to eat MREs. I was eating stuff from World War II. I saw a couple of our packages had World War II on it, and we were eating stuff from there. So that's how the food was. But again, it was completely different. It was exciting as hell, and you really can't have that experience outside of war. Going to war, there's no rules at all. It's just all about survival.